Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Mo's Born, and honestly, I don't know where to begin. For anyone that doesn't know me, I've been a Nets fan since 2002. This was the first game I ever been to right here, the Nets playoffs game 2003. My dad took me to that game. I was very excited. I've been a long Nets fan. My first ever jersey. I was a little kid, man. I was going to put it on, but I thought maybe you guys wouldn't want to see that, right? So I'm just going to react to what just happened. I'm not going to say I was looking for all my stuff or anything like that. But I was going to bring out a couple receipts, right? My RJ jerseys, all that. So you guys can see, I was going to games, literally. This is one of their worst seasons ever. They had some of the worst seasons ever. And I never left them once. I used to go to games in Jersey all the time, even though I lived in New York, right? This is the first jersey when they moved to Brooklyn. This is the first thing I got. I got it the first day. I was so excited for Darren Williams. Don't get me started on D-Will, man. Memories that I don't want to even bring up, talk about, anything like that. Then you got my man, D-Lo. He brought us hope, right? He brought us a lot. And this is where this whole story begins. D'Angelo Russell, one of the coolest guys I met. I met a couple players from the old Nets teams. Let me just say I've always been a fan, right? There's just little things that tick you, man. I understand it's a business, but business is not always business. It shouldn't be like that. It should not be like that. There's players' lives and livelihood at the line. Things you got to think of for the fans. And I'm going to be as unbiased as I can in this video. Let me stop my nonsense talking about how I'd rather have D'Angelo Russell than Kyrie Irving or any of that nonsense. I'm not going to get into any of that, all right? What I'm going to say is, right now, the Nets have been doing exactly what they should do as an organization, right? Get in the best talent possible, right? That's what they've been after. They got Kevin Durant. They did what they had to do to get him there. They got Kyrie Irving. That's what they needed to do to get him there. You feel me? They did the necessary pieces. They didn't care what it would take. They got rid of the guys that brought him there, man. The Jared Dudleys, bro. Obviously, no one would care about that. Everyone looking from the outside, like, oh, who cares? No, you gotta care as a fan. I don't know how I'm gonna do this by saying I'm not gonna be biased or any of that, but nah, seriously, me, looking back at that team that made it to the playoffs, that took that 76er team, that team was on the come up. They were hungry. We had a bunch of dogs on that team. And just me, as a fan, I kind of got destroyed. And I felt like a part of me was ripped out when they were like, all right, we're not going to run this back. Let's just get rid of this. Let's dump this and get the best talent available. Obviously, like I said, looking from the outside, you're going to be like, bro, are you crazy? That's what everyone was telling me. Are you crazy? Kyrie? Kevin Durant, you got to get it. Everyone was calling me like, yo, you excited? You so happy, right? You're so happy. I was sitting there like, I'm not really that happy. That's me. I was like, me personally, yeah, they're going to be great. Obviously, if you can get Kevin Durant, you go ahead and get him, even if he's going to sit out a year. He's still the greatest scorer, arguably one of the greatest scorers ever, right? That's literally something that everybody knows. It's clear as day. You can't argue the facts, right? You get Kyrie, one of the better closers, best ball handlers, one of those guys. You get that caliber players for a guy like D'Angelo Russell and whatever little pieces here and there that it took, right? Then they're like, oh, Spencer Dinwiddie, we'll get rid of him. We'll get rid of Karras, all this. So we're just here to talk about today's trade. I don't know. I've been rambling probably for 3-4 minutes now about nonsense. I just wanted to give you guys a backstory before we get into them acquiring James Harden. Yes, the Nets acquired James Harden. You guys could probably tell from the title. You guys probably could tell from the news. So now we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to break it down in my own sense, how I feel about it personally. As me, as a human being that's been following them since 2002, I have my own emotions. I have my own motives. So I'm going to take it from me, and I'm obviously going to give you guys the facts. Let's give you the facts first. So the Nets gave up 3 of their first round picks. Technically, they're all going to be projected late first rounds, right? 20 to 25, whatever it is. So none of them are going to be great picks, so they should be fine. They're giving up Milwaukee's first round pick, which the Nets obviously had, and then 4 pick swaps. So that's potentially 8 first round picks, right? Potentially. And that's where it goes back to what the Nets did with Boston back in the day when they acquired that big trade, right? KG and Paul Pierce. I remember exactly where I was when that trade happened. I remember my exact feelings when that trade happened, and to be honest, I was excited. I thought that was it. I was like, we got Darren Williams, we got Brook Lopez, we get KG, we get Paul Pierce. That's a championship bound team. You look at that team on paper, bro, this team is literally it. Joe Johnson, like, it was just crazy, right? On paper, it looked amazing. But anyway, Brooklyn is giving all that up to Houston, right? They're giving up Kirks, who's that Latvian kid, the youngin. Sometimes you don't want to wait too long on some of these young guys. It's cool. You get rid of him. That's no issue. Obviously, he had a lot of potential. I'm not saying it like that. They get rid of Caris LeVert, right? Caris LeVert gets traded to Houston, which then Houston just traded as well for Victor Oladipo. So my man Caris LeVert is now no longer going to be on the Nets. He's not going to be on the Rockets. He's going to be in Indiana. And Victor Oladipo is going to be taking his talents to Houston to play with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. I actually, I'm just going to stop right here for a second to say I think the atmosphere around Houston is going to be a lot better because obviously James Harden was holding weights on them. And then a guy like Cousins said he actually wanted to go to Houston not for James Harden. He went there to play with John Wall, like that Kentucky connection. I said connection with a K, bro. And if I'm not upset and sad about them getting rid of my boy Caris LeVert, they did me one dirtier and got rid of Jarrett Allen. So Jarrett Allen got traded too. So he's going to be going to Cleveland. So Cleveland got involved in this trade. They sent Dante Exum to Houston. So Houston is getting Victor Oladipo, Dante Exum, Kirks, and 8 first-round picks pretty much, right? Pretty much that's the deal they got for James Harden. The Pacers get Caris LeVert and a second-round pick. And then the Cavs get Jarrett Allen and Taurean Prince. So Taurean Prince also left the Nets. We didn't mention that earlier, I believe. I don't think I said that. So what did the Nets get for everything they gave up? James Harden. Yes, that is what the Nets gave up. So now that I gave you guys the facts, I'll give you guys a little bit more of my emotions and how I feel, because that's what you guys are here for. You guys care about how I feel, right? I hope that's the case. But nah, so seriously, as a non-biased fan, right, if I'm just looking at it, I'm like, wow, you got Kyrie, you got James Harden, and you got Kevin Durant. That's a big 3 right there. 3 of the best scorers in the league. 3 guys that are incredible. Now, other guys are going to be like, bro, they all are ball-dominant guys. They all need the ball in their hands. Kevin Durant needs the ball at the last shot because he's going to hit it. But Kyrie's been taking that all season. He's been causing some drama in the locker room. You see what James Harden's been doing. So one thing I will say real quick is James Harden hasn't been a locker room problem ever. We've never seen that from him before. This is really it. Maybe we can say, oh, him and Chris Paul never worked out. But there was no falling out. You never heard really bad talk. Him and Westbrook didn't work. You never really heard, you know what I mean? It was never really bad talk about James Harden as a teammate or a leader or anything like that. Except now, when he's basically he wanted out because of the ownership and all that. And he just didn't want to be a leader anymore. He was like, nah, I'm out. I want out. And he maybe handled it a little bit like a drama queen, a baby, whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, I'm saying James Harden hasn't had that reputation. So let's ignore it for a little bit. Let's pretend him and KD are going to work. They still got Kyrie. We don't know how that's working. We're hearing a lot of rumors lately of how the Nets are tired of it, that he hasn't been playing and all this other stuff, bad communication back and forth. But they still got a lot of depth in that team. They still got Joe Harris. They still got Shamet. They got DeAndre Jordan. They got a lot of pieces, man. Spencer Dinwiddie is still there. I'm not going to sit here and name you every player on the roster, but they got that young kid who's probably going to get more minutes, that center Nick Claxton. They also got Jeff Green. They have $5.7 million and 3 roster spots. I think they can make it a little bit more money. They can work it. And then now there's people talking about trading Kyrie, but I don't see that really happening. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I could see it happening, but at the end of the day, it's probably not going to happen like that. I don't think they would do that. I think they'll go, yo, us 3 scoring the ball can outscore any other team. We don't need defense. We just gonna work them on the other end. They're not gonna they're gonna get tired out. They're not gonna be able to stop us, and we're gonna win games like that. So we're gonna see. There is only one basketball. Me as a fan, I'm not gonna sit here and say I hate it and all this other stuff. I'm not yeah, loyalty was a big deal for me, and now as I got older, I understand it a little better, right? I understand the business aspect to it. I get it. Well, yes, I was hurt a couple years ago when D'Lo was traded. Yeah, I was hurt when they did this move over this move. Yeah, I was hurt over this. And I'm like, yo, why don't you guys keep going from the bottom, right? Keep going from the ground up. And they clearly have done that to a point where they were like, all right, we did what we got to do. We grew something. Now we get rid. And I didn't even mention the main thing, right? The main thing that got me heated and really lost me as a person and a fan, because I wasn't even mad before, man. It's when they got rid of our coach. As soon as they fired Atkinson, I felt some type of way. That was it. That was the last straw for me, man. That's how I started, bro, what happened to make you fire him? He was the culture. He was the culture. When they like made it to where they made it to, that was the issue for me. Like, people wanted to come play in Brooklyn because of that. Now we got Steve Nash there. So I don't know how I feel. Steve Nash is a great basketball mind, one of the best. They got D'Antoni as an assistant. So you know it's offensively driven, right? Driven to offense minded for sure. And we're going to see how it is. We're going to see if they collapse. A lot of people are saying they're going to win the East. There's a lot of people saying they're going to win the chip. I don't really think so. I don't really know how I feel. I got to see it in action. After the first 2 games of the season, everyone's like, all right, that's it. Pack up your bags. This ring is over. We giving it to Brooklyn, and it's a wrap, right? And I was just like, nah, we got to let this go. And once we heard the James Harden news from the jump, we were still like, we still got to see it play. People were saying they're going to be so great offensively, win so many games, but winning games is not winning championships. So we got to see when like push comes to shove, defense does come into play for sure. It definitely does, especially in the playoffs when you're guaranteed to play the same team 4 nights in a row, not in a row, but like 4 games back to back to back, with the possibility that you're going to be playing 7 total. Like, just knowing that you're going to play the same team, they adjust, they do the necessary strategies needed. And before I end this video, I'll give you guys one last take as a coach. I do coach. We did actually win the championship this year, my team, my 8th grade team. So I'll give you guys one final remark as a coach. You take all the talent you can get. You can build a culture. You can give them defensive schemes. You can do all that as long as the team is open-minded. Because if you lose that locker room, if the guys don't respect you, if the guys don't believe in you or listen to you, you're not winning that game. You're not taking anything. I'm not saying talent is all you need. You don't need talent to win. It's not like that. You do obviously need talented players, but at the end of the day, it's about the hard work, the commitment, and the sacrifice. If you're willing to sacrifice, you're going to do great things. So we got to see if these guys are willing to sacrifice. We haven't seen Harden sacrifice that much yet. He tried with Westbrook a little, with CP3 a little, but this is going to be the biggest sacrifice he does since he was in OKC winning that 6-man. We've seen how Kevin Durant could sacrifice, right, with Golden State. We saw what he could do with a team like that. And now we got to see if Kyrie is going to withstand the battle of time, or if he's going to retire soon, or what's the game plan with him. He is a very interesting mind that I don't think we'll ever be able to comprehend. And that's my take as a long Nets fan. I know I said 2002, but I believe I've been a Nets fan since 2001. Because when I think about it, I used to play 2K1. Literally, I was playing 2K1 with Iverson on the cover. I remember that Iverson championship run, right? Like when they were in the finals against the Lakers. I remember that very well. And that was the first year Jason Kidd was on the Nets. So there's a high percentage chance that was the first year I was a Nets fan. But I don't want to say that because AI was like my favorite player too. So it was J Kidd and AI at the time. So whether I was a Nets fan since 2001 or 2002, it's somewhere around there. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching. My main YouTube channel is down below. It's Mo's Ballin'. I play mainly 2K. We do other things a little bit here and there. But yeah, guys, I'll be seeing you guys later. Let me know what you guys think, please. Please, I really want to know what you guys think of this team, especially if you made it this far. It means a lot. Thank you guys so much. I'll catch y'all later. It's been your boy Mo's Ballin', and ballin' out.